traders, Mike from GYLD here, and it's time for another market review. Just a little reminder, we are currently running a promotion, so make sure to use code GYLD20 to get a 20% discount on all our challenges. Let's get straight to the charts. Okay everybody, taking a look at the dollar index first. As usual, we can see that we finally got in that pullback we've been waiting for. We reached this level of support. Price rejected off of it quite nicely. So the dollar index, it looks pretty good for longs potential, meaning short on the pairs with the dollar, against the dollar. And it would be nice to see some confirmation on the lower time frame beginning of the week, but this is looking pretty nice. So if we are to go higher, this would be a logical area to target. So if you are to position yourself on the long side, the previous high over here could be and should be a very good target, right? So keep watching the dollar index and the dollar pairs throughout the week. They seem to be pretty good, right? Next we have euro dollar. This is also pulling back very nicely. You can see how structured the pullback is. This is a very good sign. When you see a pullback being very structured, you know, it takes its time. This is what I personally like seeing in the market, and we're also hanging around the levels of resistance around here, these general areas, right? So it would be nice to see some shorts on the euro dollar in the upcoming days. We could get a price above this, you know, that would be nice if we can spike above, hit some levels of resistance higher above, and then we could look to sell and go lower, targeting the previous lows, just like with the dollar index right over here. So the euro dollar is looking very good for the upcoming week, and we highly recommend you watch it. You keep it on your watch list, right? Next up we have the pound dollar. This is very similar, but it's not as structured. If you look at the pullback here, it is not as structured as with the euro dollar. Rather, it's a move up and then a consolidation. Not very nice looking, but once again, it's at some levels of resistance over here. So these areas would be very interesting to see some shorts from possibly. But so far I'm leaning towards euro dollar more, as it's a little bit more clean. Okay, here we have the chart of gold, the daily chart of gold, and we are currently pushing higher. So interesting to see whether we can reach for the all-time high. It's currently retesting some of these levels. So it's interesting to see whether we can reach that all-time high again, or whether these levels of resistance push the price lower, which ideally we would like to see some lower prices for some higher probability and better longs. So anywhere around here would be nice, or even lower, these levels of support would be nice. So as of right now, gold is on standby for me. There's obviously there would be something intraday. So if you're intraday trading gold, you probably can find something on the lower time frame, but we're sticking strictly to the higher time frame here. So that's our outlook on the gold. Next we have Bitcoin. Once again, there's not much change on the Bitcoin, so nothing really to discuss here. We're still stuck in this consolidation. We're around the bottom of it. We rejected here, you know, fake breakout below the previous lows. So right now price is just consolidating back in the range, and we need to see more data, you know, whether it breaks higher and gives some pullback, or whether we break below and then get a pullback to sell later on. So Bitcoin still not ready for anything in my personal opinion, and yeah, just a big consolidation here. Now taking a look at the US 500 or the S&P 500, we can see that we are pushing higher. We started pushing higher, and it's very similar to gold. You know, we are attacking the all-time high. And we need to see whether we can take it out or not. As of right now, it's kind of 50-50 still, because we are around the previous all-time high. You know, we are retesting that level, and we get some rejection close on Friday. So it is not a clear-cut picture, but it would be very reasonable to expect a high to be taken out, right? And last but not least, we have the US 100 or the NASDAQ. And this is very similar to US 500, the S&P, obviously. And taking a look at this consolidation, we can see that price is hanging around the middle of it, right? So it came back into the consolidation and around the midpoint of the range, which is the most important part of the range, we are consolidating and rejecting. So very similar to the S&P 500, we are attacking the all-time high, and we could absolutely take it. But as of right now, we are consolidating in the middle of a higher time frame consolidation. So not clean by any means. So best to wait and see, wait for price to be much cleaner, right? So that's it for the chart, guys. And let's take a look at the economic calendar for the upcoming week. Taking a look at the economic calendar, we are using investing.com for this. Starting with Monday, we don't have any major impact news. So Monday, beginning of the week, no news. It's expected to be a little slower. However, on Tuesday, we have a very packed day with a lot of news. Starting off with some medium impact news for the British pound in the London session. We also have the German CPI, which is a high impact news, and this will affect the euros heavily. It's going to be a very important moment in the market this week. It will be important to see what price does, how it reacts. But the German CPI will be a major driver for price. We also have the PPI for the US dollar in the New York session. So both sessions, both as in the New York session and the London session, should be very good. Following up on Wednesday, we have core CPI for the US dollar, CPI, and retail sales as some of the highest impact news for Wednesday. We also have a lot of news for the euros and medium impact news for the dollar as well. So Wednesday should be a lot of movement. We should see a lot of movement in the market, and absolutely a day you want to be looking at the charts if you want to trade intraday. Okay, next up we have Thursday. On Thursday, we start the day off with some medium impact news, which shouldn't affect the market much, as we have initial jobless claims and Philadelphia Fed Manufacturing Index in the New York session. So New York session on Thursday, price will likely be waiting for those news to release before a significant move occurs, right? And on Friday, we have some medium impact news to start the day, and then we have the CPI for euros. So inflation numbers will be very important to see, and we will likely see a big movement, which we would get a follow-up for on the next Monday after that. The CPI should move the market a lot. It tends to do that quite a bit, right? So that is it for the economic calendar, guys. I hope you enjoyed this review, market review, and I will see you next week.